Oh, sorry about that. Okay, part 2. I'm going to link part 1 in the comments below. Yes, so these masculines, I mean, on the heart space, this healing that they are doing is hinged to these connections. This best version of them that they're stepping into is measured by the sacred mirror their feminine is. On the heart of hearts, that's where they can see how far they've come, how far they're going, what the specific things are that they've overcome, the blessings that they're being shown. These connections are a mirror like no other. These connections, you feminines and masculines, are set apart from the world. You are each other's match. You are each other's divine match. You are going through this divine courtship, this refining process, this preparation for union. It is spiritually led. When you are truly in a divine relationship, you are both gaining instruction from your connection to God, from Source, and it is playing out through the two of you and leading you through the preparation, the refining, the purification, ascending out of the world and into divine, holy matrimony. So this is part of how human beings, being spiritual, are encoded, built, designed, created to go through the process of preparation for love through doing this energetic spiritual work. You cannot have respect and honor and sacred intimacy if you do not have righteousness, if you do not have connection to Source and this gifts of the Spirit that help you understand right from wrong, truth. This is found only through the connection to Source, not from our ego, not from that confusion, not from that level of consciousness. It is found in a greater wisdom that comes through being healed, being focused on love, being able to understand what love is, what love isn't, being able to feel that on the heart, being able to make our decisions. You know, our free will is literally all we have for free will is how we interpret what we are witnessing. And second to that is what we do about it or not. When we are interpreting our reality, we have an infinite number of ways we can assess our reality. We can be very, very pessimistic, or we can be optimistic. We can be fear-based, or we can be love-based. Someone who is in fear will make radically different choices and assessments about their reality and about what is available to them than somebody who is in love. So these masculines are coming into a frequency of pure love, and that is the preparation ultimately for these unions. What is the spiritual aspect, the energy aspect, subatomic velocity, acceleration, stimulation, and excitation. So things are moving fast. As they ascend, they are in the higher realms. That high frequency, high vibe, you may have heard it said that way, it is much more of a genius frequency. It looks at solutions. It resonates in miracles, in mastery, and therefore there's not so much of a lag like hindsight being 2020. When you cultivate living in alignment, it is a faster processing speed. It is more elegant. It is less cumbersome when gathering data through free will and sorting out how to look at our reality. When we ping on the frequencies of love, we can start to see more quickly how to view our reality consistently through that level of insight or vision. Oh no. I got really excited about that message. Okay. Oh no. I really don't want to cough. This cough has been hanging on for a while. What are they clearing? 5 of Cups, Lord of loss and pleasure. So they now know if karma begets karma, or karmic choices, short-sighted, instant gratification, lust, greed, all of that stuff, giving away our power, disempowered choices, fear-based choices. It doesn't allow for pleasure, not authentic pleasure. Instant gratification is not deep, fulfilling, satiating pleasure. And so this is what's being cleared. They don't want to settle for half-assed pleasure anymore. They want sacred exchange. This is on the heart space with the feminine, and so they do not want to have unhealed intimacy. All of a sudden, they want enlightenment with you, feminine. They want to be able to look you in the eyes. They want you to find no blame, no fault, no sin, no lower vibrational blemish in their heart of hearts. They want to give you their entire heart. They want to bear their entire soul. They don't want to have sneaky deaky, shady, less than, lower vibrational shame left in their heart. They want to be purified. They want to be righteous. They want to be aligned. So they will settle for nothing less. They are quickly releasing all remaining emotional, mental, physical hindrances to love. I just heard. What can we see for the manifestations these masculines are looking at? Healing this separation wound, this original separation wound. Healing the splice in their consciousness that is not in alignment with their divinity. That ultimately is where the fear of abandonment comes from. Because if we truly remember our connection to the divine, we are safe. We are in alignment. We are loved in all things, and this too shall pass. We find solace in that absolute knowing. We find spiritual strength in connection to source, knowing there is a bigger plan, that it's benevolent, that there is purpose, that there is benefit, that life and God and love are good. When we come into righteousness, we no longer hold ourselves in separation from the divine. And therefore, love becomes us. We are returned to love. We align through free will back to love. And our fear of abandonment, or the idea that we could abandon others, ceases to be relevant because we've healed. So these masculines are working on coming into full alignment. Okay, and we're getting simultaneity, nonlinear processing, and epiphany. So some of the things these masculines are witnessing as they are seeing as above, so below, as they come into alignment with their free will, and these things that they are seeing playing out in these connections and in your life, feminines, and in their lives, they see it simultaneously. Nonlinear processing and epiphanies, they are starting to see how tandem this journey has been, and how as they change, you change, as you change, they change. They are seeing both of you becoming more aligned, more righteous. And this is what they desire to focus on. Lord of defeat is what they're letting go of. This is interesting because it's the 5 of Swords, and whenever I see a 5 and a 10, or a 4 and an 8 half, I see that they are taking personal accountability for their half of this simultaneous process. I love that this showed up here. This is my card of free will and taking accountability or cutting corners. So this in the upright is the way that I interpret this card of free will, the 5 of Swords, when people cut corners, try to carpet sweep, or get somewhere too quickly, that haste thing. They're putting that away. They're no longer doing the minimum, they are now fully understanding that to align, they have to align. They can't pretend to align. They can't almost align. They must go all in with their alignment. And that is what allows them to receive and give true love with an aligned partner. Masculines, this is absolutely stunning. And we get, yes. So we are letting go of the Five of Swords in the upright. We are stepping into accountability, Five of Swords in my accountable position here. This is like too good. Simultaneously, these masculines see you feminines also taking full accountability for your karma, for your free will, for your consciousness. When we are accountable for our free will, there's no longer victim game paradigms. We're no longer in competition. There's no longer any lack. We now know that everything we put out is what we get in return. Our conscience is clear, if not, and it easily allows for us to go with the flow, to be in that divine alignment, that protection, that vision that we can interpret our reality through the lens of love, not fear. When our conscience is clear, we can more easily see the potentiality because we have less guilt and shame, anger and frustration, agendas, all of those lower vibrational sufferings. Those things aren't clouding. We're able to have the clarity because we can then see the spiritually strong, supported, love-filled way of looking at things. Amazing. This is very interesting reading. What can we see for how these masculines are conscious of the actions they're taking? 10 of burdens. So they really are offloading the cares of the world, the burdens of the world. But we got this valor, this victorious energy coming through. So they're right at the end of coming through their karma cleanup. Whatever they are doing right now, it is the final act with their karma. So this redeeming themselves through their accountability, through leaning into what they know they need to do, that is ultimately what's going to offload the cares of the world. What's happening in the energetics? Progressive awareness, multi-directional change, seal of evolutionary colors. So they are transitioning from the ways of the world to the ways of spirit, their highest potential, their divine masculinity. They're stepping into this spiritual strength. Seal of evolutionary colors. So they're graduating from murky, convoluted things. Their aura, I'm getting, is even becoming more vibrant, more crisp, more clear, more alive. Their frequency is rising. You can imagine if a lamp has a low ampage, wattage, I don't know, and it now has like the dimmer switch. You increase the power, it glows. They're having a glow up. Masculines, you're having a glow up, right? What can we see for what they're clearing? King of Cups, emotional volatility, the lack of emotional accountability. When we are in guilt and shame templates, the burden is a cyclical, self-fulfilling prophecy. We evoke more burden because we never transcend it. So we just keep going through the almost transcending it and then backsliding and being overwhelmed again. And so that emotional hamster wheel is being released. What's going forward? Perseverance, 9 of Wands. This is the wounded warrior, but this is, they are buckling down and going towards it. They're regrouping, recommitting to excellence, to up-leveling once and for all. It's like a second wind, a mature accountability where like they're going in. I'm going in. It's like, not quite yet. I've got this to do. I've got to put in the elbow grease right now to get up out of this karma. But there's something more than just elbow grease. There's this spiritual fortitude that they are embodying through whatever they're doing right now. They are righting the wrongs, correcting things, and coming through it with flying colors, with evolutionary colors. Yay, masculines, you are absolutely incredible. What is their biggest challenge that they are consciously aware of? That they are, when we drop ego, we now have beginner's eyes. Page of Swords is like the beginner's eyes in yoga. It is the student. It is learning new thoughts and theories and strategies and ways of doing things. It's stepping out of our comfort zone and opening our mind to a different way of looking at things. So as they come through this offloading of burden, they're seeking a better way. This is the challenge, is changing up, teaching an old dog new tricks, changing up ingrained patterns, the predictive programming, the habits, the ways of interpreting their reality. This is all changing. What can we see for the energetics? Chamber of communication, correspondence, declaration, telepathy. So they're now more open to what it is for others, more open to their divine feminine's experience of reality, the wisdom the feminine has to share, but they're also more objective with whatever they're engaging with, whatever dynamics. This is diplomacy because they're now able to understand the intent. They can discern and feel into, be aware of in communication, or they're realizing that they can now understand where others are coming from with more love, with more compassion. It's not so much war anymore. This is the challenge, though, is their eyes are being open to seeing everything as opportunity and blessing rather than challenge, confrontation, dead ends, inescapable patterns, absolutes. They're seeing around that right now, and there's like divine mediation. I'm getting that this being in the middle of these two figures are like angels and the divine coming in to help repair certain relationships in the masculine's lives. This is the challenge, though, is that they have got to set the record straight with actual physical people in their lives or with people that have no future with these masculines, like making peace, making amends, balancing out. It feels like the masculines are going through spiritual court right now with who comes forward and who is released. Part of their burden is letting go of certain individuals and balancing out and having closure telepathically. This might not be in the physical. It might not even be with people that are still living. This can be loved ones that have crossed over where there wasn't closure. This can be generational with parents. This can be any kind of karmic partners, past partners, friends. This can be anybody that the masculines still have unresolved circumstances with. This is the challenge, is offloading the burden, connected with viewing things through suffering, through fear. The masculines are going through a major overhaul of their connections and interpersonal dynamics. What are they releasing? Lord of blended pleasure. They're taking responsibility for their own pleasure. They're no longer needing to make other people happy. They're no longer putting other people first at their own expense. They're no longer succumbing to takers. We got that beautiful message the other day about the divine feminines being receptive, not takers. So these masculines are also balancing out previous connections that they lowered their frequency to be part of. These masculines are reclaiming their power. This is the challenge, though, is seeing it that way, that it's not a competition. They're only accountable for themselves, but therefore people who they have been connected with or are still lingering connected with, these masculines are releasing them to find their own way without these masculines carrying their karma, doing it for them, compensating. So these masculines are also tasked with the relationships that are coming forward. It's going to have to be a win-win. It's going to have to be mutual. It's going to have to be beneficial for both, or these masculines are no longer interested in taking those relationships onward. What are they doing with regard to the feminines? 10 of Pentacles, this is legacy, long-term success. So it feels like before they can get to this everything relationship with their feminine, they have to take care of loose ends in their reality, but they're still going through their rite of passage to be inducted and initiated into this way of navigating that is righteous. And so this is the challenge, is they are in the process of embodying this, aligning with this, healing and stepping into the righteousness. And so partly through the disillusion of perceptions and some relationships, these masculines are preparing to come into union, because some of these relationships that have been lower vibrational have been hindering coming into union, partly because they represent guilt and shame and suffering, and partly because they rear up or become a problem when these masculines start making strides towards these connections. Whenever that happens, it means there is something that is a prerequisite that we are trying to skip over in order to get somewhere more quickly, that haste card. So these masculines are having more patience because they know they have to be thorough in order to connect with their feminine in union. They have to earn it by balancing out previous energy through righteousness, through wisdom, through their rite of passage here. They can't fake it and come into union. They have to actually reconcile the energies that have not been balanced in their lives. What is the solution here? Taking a leap of faith. And so on the conscious mind, they know they just have to go for it. They have to begin. They have to stick with it. They have to rise above. They have to recommit. They have to step into it, step into those shoes energetically. Linear sequencing, hierarchy, time, and logic. So they know that whatever they're facing right now, it's going to take some time, but they're here for it. They are stepping into it. What are they releasing? The Hanged Man, Spirit of the Mighty Waters. So the Hanged One is the standstill. They're releasing the energetic stalemate where they weren't taking accountability for the karmas, for the things they needed to settle or balance, rectify. They're now doing those things. These tower moments we saw earlier on might be paving the way for the masculines to do exactly this. So the squeaky wheel energy, or the inconvenient truths, the loose ends in their lives, these are the tower moments, because whatever the loose ends were, they're coming to the forefront now. And as these masculines lean in to doing what's needed to balance those energies, they're moving these connections and their purpose, their higher timelines forward. Strength, there's the spiritual strength again, the virtue, the valor. What can we see for the near future? They are conscious of working on this accountability, the Five of Swords again. So this is them scouring their reality for what is in their bucket of accountability. What do they need to see accurately? What do they need to consider? What do they need to be aware of? What is within their accountability to make right? Energetically, authenticity, uniqueness, integration. So yeah, just by doing them, coming into alignment with God-fearing, God-honest truth, their heart, their righteousness, as they come into that authenticity and celebrate the uniqueness they are, this integrates how easy life can be if we just focus on being the best version of ourselves, the most righteous version of ourselves. How liberating, how seamless, how fluid our life becomes. What is this allowing them to release? Lord of established strength, 3 of Wands. So this card is giving me very entitled, assertive, immature shows of dominance. So they're releasing the times where they've had to be showy with their assertion of self. They're now aligning. They don't have to prove anymore. They don't have to passionately be demonstrative. It's now this internal, this knowing, this alignment, this inside job, this introspection, this shift of perception that's going on within. Yes, 8 of Wands. This is telepathy again. This is the energetic transference between counterparts. This is the energy. You'll be feeling this with your masculine divine feminines. 2 of Wands. So this is also, you may be at a distance. This card just flipped off the deck. This says Lord of Dominion in the inverse. So they're letting go of control, and they are allowing, the 8 of Wands plus the 2 of Wands also equals the 10 of Wands, that these masculines are releasing karma and freeing themselves from binding with karmic situations and partners and people and scenarios and people, places, things. And they are drawing on your example, the light that you show them. Oh, and we end with the Temperance card now popping off the top of the deck here in the upright. So this is deeply healing. They are very much tuned into your energy, feminines, for solace. So even if they are at a distance right now, they are appropriately aligned and vibrating at the same frequency that has benefit for them to tune into you. It's like, what would my feminine do? What shall I do at this time to rise and be this ideal divine counterpart for my feminine, divine creator? How do I keep stepping through this valley of the shadow of death towards freedom, the light at the end of the tunnel? How do I keep healing? So they're drawing on instruction from God. They're going through the steps they're being guided to take in all regards in their lives. And they are feeling into this beautiful connection they have with their feminine consciously. That is becoming more crystal clear, I just heard. As they continue to refine and purify their lives on every level, their energetic spidey sense are ramping up, and they are able to attune to the pure frequency with their feminine, like laser, accurate. Oh, and it's healing them. Okay, well, let's just get one little final card. What can we see for these masculines? Humor. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. So the good fun times are coming. The clean, awesome humor, the celebration, the joy is coming, masculines. You are so close to getting past your karmic burden here. Setting the record straight, handing everyone else's karma back to them. You're not meant to save anyone. You're just meant to align for yourself and be a light, just like you are being feminines. And pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. So healthy pride and humor coming in. That sounds like healing and joy. All right, many blessings, everyone. Bye for now.